How do I manage being a full-time content creator, a full-time soldier, a full-time leader, senior non-commissioned officer in the United States Army? It's not easy, and I don't know if I have all the answers, but I definitely have some tips for you. And this could apply to anybody. This doesn't have to just apply to senior leaders in the United States Army. This could be for a shift lead at Walmart. This could be for a head cashier at a Food for Less or Ralph's or King Soopers or wherever you live in the United States and whatever they call your grocery store. There's a couple things to consider. I have other things going on in my life. Full-time military content creating takes up a lot of the time. What I did before that obviously was the military. I'm still doing the military, but I was a soldier and a leader first. John Deloney, the psychologist, has an example of time management. Time management is something that any leader should try to master. I don't think you'll ever be able to master time management, but time management is something that you should really excel in if you want to succeed at anything. It doesn't have to be just military. It could be anything in life, parenting, stuff at work, being a good sister, brother, son, father, It's called the 4-burner method. And you can imagine on your stove, you have 4 burners on your stove. They all have different settings. You might cook different things at different times, but let's use the 4-burner method for my example. So I'm a full-time content creator. That's going to take up, hold on, let me fix my sleeve. Sorry, I was doing a video earlier and my sleeve's all messed up. Now that I look like less of a dirtbag, let's talk about the 4-burner method. Full-time content creator, that will take up one of my burners. I'm a full-time soldier, that's gonna take up another one of my burners. I'm a full-time father, that's gonna take up a burner. And I'm a full-time college student as well, that's gonna take up another burner. If you add a 5th thing, there's no more burners. You're going to have to move one of the pots off of the burner. You could kind of move half of the pot and then stick half of the pot of your new item. Let's say I wanted to pick up golf again and I wanted to be a full-time golfer as well. I could move the content creation, being a good leader and stuff like that. I could move those over and stick half of the golf pot on there, but I'm only gonna give half of my time to golf and half of my time to being a leader. So you have to figure out when it's not okay to add other things to your burner. Figure out your 4 burners and then practice those things. Now you can combine things. That's what one of my pots is combined right now. Being a soldier and being a content creator. I'm a soldier 24/7. That's the big motto that people like to use. But also throughout the day, I could film things and make content, or when I'm at lunch or on the weekends. And sometimes I'll put on half of my uniform like I'm wearing now. You can't see my pants. I'll put on half of my uniform and make these silly videos in my truck. I'll make them in my closet. I'll make them on my couch when it's a Saturday or a Sunday or it's raining outside or whatever. But figuring out your pots is essential. Eventually, I see this content creating taking up way more time than I expected it to. The more videos I do, the more collaborations I do, the more ideas I come up with, all the people that I'm networking with, all the filming that I'm doing with all these other people and sending messages and ideas late at night. And then at work, when things start ramping up at work for a rotation or going to the field or a field exercise for, like a range before the field, or just everyday, day-to-day tasks that encompass a lot of my time in the military. If a soldier has an issue at work and it takes up a lot of my time at night, which obviously I don't care if a soldier needs me, it's my job. I'm supposed to be there for them as much as possible. But eventually, I think one of these things has to give. I think I eventually have to give up the military or give up content creating. And honestly, at this point, I'm not sure what I want to do. Because I love making videos, but I love being a good example to young men and women that I have the pleasure of leading at work. And I have the pleasure of setting examples for at work, and I have the pleasure of turning into these young men and women, turning them into respectable people that are going to serve their communities and their families and all the people that they love around them. And I know I'm not going to be in the military forever. The military obviously will come to an end just like everything else. But for now, it's a real struggle figuring out when to make content and when to be just a soldier and not worry about the camera or editing or ideas. I'm not gonna lie to you, I get obsessed with things. Once I have a new hobby or a new interest, that's something that piques my interest, I fully envelop myself into that thing. And I think that's why, oh geez, I'm spitting on you. I think that's why I'm having marginal success, pretty significant success in creating content. Not so much on YouTube yet, but I'm getting there. This is going to be in another video, what I'm talking about next. The networking and the success and stuff like that I've gained over such a short amount of time compared to people that have been doing this for years and they're just kind of stuck in a rut. But let's get back to time management. You're going to have to know this. You don't have time for everything or everyone. You have to pick and choose what's most beneficial to you and the people around you and your situation. If it were up to me, I would help anybody and everybody I could. I can't get back to all the messages that come in my email or my inboxes. I really wish I could, but that's where levels of priority really come into play, in my opinion. I have to ask myself every day, what's the priority for today? And in the military, they say, if everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. And that's one thing that I kind of dislike about the military, is that they pretend like everything is a priority, and then all of a sudden nothing seems super important when apparently all of it's important, but that's neither here nor there. I think being a good manager at time also coincides with having good goal setting skills. You can manage time all you want, but if you don't know why you're trying to manage time better, then what's the point? If there's an end goal that you're trying to reach with anything, it will tie in with time management. Because if you're trying to get better at something, you have to be able to manage time correctly in order to dedicate good time to those things to get better. Now, I asked somebody recently that's a huge content creator, and I said, hey, how do you manage the content and your job? And for the lack of better terms, he said this: I have to choose to do one of them poorly. You can't do both of those things to your best ability. You can't be great at both of those things. One of them is going to suffer more than the other. You could be halfway decent at both and put half the pot on the burner for content creating and half the pot on the burner for work, like we explained before. Or you can choose to be not so good at one and really good at the other. And that's a personal decision. I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong. But if it's right for you, then it's right for you. Finding time is impossible because there's always 24 hours in the day. And I see it like this. Time is much like money. You can spend your money and waste it and see it go away and enjoy the little fruits of your labor here and there and really soak it in as much as you can. But once it's wasted away, it's gone. It's never coming back. And you can generate more money. You cannot generate more time. But on the other hand, you can invest your money and watch it grow. I wish I can grow time, but we can't grow time. But what I'm trying to say is this: if you invest your time, much like any other investment, it will show a return on investment, or ROI. I'm investing my time as best as I can on all the platforms. I've received a decent return on my investment. And it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it was easy, because it was a long and ugly road, but it's finally paying off. This is just the beginning. Thanks for being here.